Hi viewers, welcome back to SaharaTV. My name is Adeola Fayon. Now this is a highlight segment, and today we like to highlight Eritrea and what's been going on in Eritrea. A few weeks ago, a boat capsized in Lampedusa in Italy, where about 300 African migrants perished, and most of them were actually Eritreans. So the question is, why are people fleeing Eritrea in huge numbers? In the last 10 years, thousands of Eritreans have fled their country. So why are people fleeing? What is actually going on in Eritrea? Now, to discuss that with me today, I have, first of all, Meaza Petros. She's the daughter of Petros Solomon, who has been in prison in Eritrea since 2001, as well as Aster Yohannes, that's her mom. She's also been imprisoned since 2004. I also have with me in the studio Mezgeb Mengistu. She's the mother of Aster Yohannes. That's the daughter that her daughter has been detained since 2004. Welcome to SaharaTV, guys.
Hi, thanks for having us.
It's nice having you.
It's really nice.
Okay, so Meaza, I want to start with you. What has it been like? When was the last time that you saw your parents?
I haven't seen my father since I was 4 years old and my mother since I was 2. So I don't really remember much about them. I just rely on other people's memories and pictures to make up their faces.
What were you told? What did they do?
I didn't find out about my parents until I was about 8 years old. And my family didn't think I would understand, so I Googled it, and that's how I knew. It's not really something I could comprehend at 8, but I was told at not even a good reason. Like when I asked my family, they couldn't say anything, but certain people are just selfish, or, anything you'd say to a small child to make them understand that there's just things in the world that aren't explainable.
Do you mind asking your grandma if she remembers that day? Your mom, actually, after your dad was imprisoned, your mom came to the U.S. for some school program for about 3 years. And then she was promised that she would be safe if she comes back to Eritrea by the Eritrean ambassador to the U.S. But on getting home, our mom was also imprisoned. So your grandma was the one that has been taking care of you even when your mom was away. Do you mind asking her if she remembers what happened that day when her daughter was arrested?
She told us she'd come. We waited for her at the airport. We waited for her, but she didn't come and we didn't see her.
So she actually came, but she never got to you guys?
She never got to see us. Security personnel boarded the plane and took her away.
I see. So ask your grandma how she's been coping since then. Did she try to ask the government about her whereabouts or what?
حتيت قدم حتيتي أي نبني سكريت بصحفت كيدي أي ملش لينين دقنا دقيمة دحر حجي خيت ماتسي يلومني صحفوناتي أي ملش ليني.
I went to the security office. I asked. They didn't give me an answer. I went again. They told me never to come back. And I even sent a letter, but I never got a reply.
So there was no explanation given to you whatsoever. So you don't even know what crime they've been accused of. Does she know? Can you ask her?
No.
And your mom and dad are not even the only people that have been detained, even without trial, right?
They're not.
So you came here 4 years ago. Can you tell us what that journey was like, coming from Eritrea?
It was terrifying. It was especially scary because it was just me and my grandmother, and usually you have a lot of other border crossers that know the routes very well that take you. It was dark. It was a desert. It was terrifying.
You said you had to walk 7 hours?
Yes.
Wow.
That wasn't normally the plan. This happens a lot, and we fortunately were some of the better situations, but most of the time many border crossings get stolen from the crossers, and the people that are supposed to take you don't, other people do, and that's what happened to us. We were supposed to be driven, but we weren't.
So you had to walk 7 hours in one day. And at night, when you don't have flashlight, what did you do?
We just walked in the dark. I remember at a certain point I asked one of the people that were walking with us how they knew where we were going, and the only thing they had to go off was a flashlight in the far distance. And that's the only light you'd follow.
I see. And actually there are 4 of you. It's a family of 4, 2 boys and 2 girls. What about your other 3 siblings? When you took off with grandma, what about the other 3 siblings?
My other 3 siblings took another route. It was much more dangerous, but it was far less suspicious. So unfortunately, they were caught their first time around, and they were sent to military camps.
Your siblings were sent to military camps?
All 3 of them, yes.
All 3 of them? Wow.
That's the punishment when you're caught.
I see. Were they 18 at the time?
صادم كسروا 18 ديال كم حاجة 20 كلتن ديم ديرهم دلو.
Yeah, they were 18 at the time. Now they're 22.
I see. But I just met your brother. How did he escape the military service?
زرعي كم يجري وقتي.
سفرده.
بغستي أب تعلمون كل ديواتي بوجر. My brother tried again from home, as well as my sister. They repeated the process over again.
And then they made it.
Yeah,
Well, you still have
they
one
did.
brother that was
At
caught.
home,
He
yeah.
was caught for the second time, and now he's in the military still.
Yeah.
Okay, so can you tell our viewers what the military service is like? Do you have any idea what it's like being in the military?
I was lucky enough not to personally experience it, but I can tell you that it's an unknown amount of years of service with very little pay to keep your family going. The conditions are treacherous. It's basically in the desert, and the punishments are even worse. The food is pathetic, to say the least. بزعبا سوا بلن تحت نقدر ندخل همزة تعليم دخلوه.
تعلم وتهدر كينه قاعد وصل تهدرني.
You just go there to train to become a soldier.
Now, can you ask your grandma how much freedom is there in Eritrea right now? Is there, I want to hear from you, but I want to hear from her as well. Is there freedom in Eritrea right now?
Freedom ترجمة والتاريخ. كمز ناتسنت صار له ديو بإرترا.
Yeah, إلا.
There's no freedom whatsoever.
Can you describe how it's like?
Me or my grandmother?
Yeah.
There's no freedom of religion, no freedom of press. There's no private newspapers or anything like that. You can't do anything. You live in constant fear that anything you say or anything you do, even the tiniest action, can be thought of as opposing the government, and you'll be thrown in jail for who knows how long. There's no judicial system whatsoever, so you can't rely on justice.
I see. But some people are saying that this is not true, that things are just being exaggerated, that everything is fine in Eritrea.
Those people are hypocrites. I can't phrase that differently. Like, they don't send their children to go get their military training and live there. They can't say that the people who are there are suffering when they're not. They can't say that they're not suffering when they obviously are. Too many people are fleeing for it to just be an inconvenience at certain times of the day.
Did you hear about 300 people that died in Lampedusa? How did
I
you?
did.
Like, how did you react when you heard about that?
It was shocking. I knew that people drowned, but I did not know that they were in that amount. And what was even sadder about it is that these are only people that got recognition for it. In past years, over 400 people have drowned. And that's just devastating to imagine that there are kids my age, younger, women. It feels like I lost a huge chunk of my family.
But the Eritrean government said that these were just illegal African immigrants.
What what does that even mean? They lived there for most of their lives and they went to try to get a better life. How does that make them illegal immigrants?
Once you try to escape, do you become an enemy of the government?
سجرد كنت تساجر مسواتنكي أنصار منجست ريخي كومري خد حسابي. Yeah, you are.
So I want to ask your grandma if the Eritrean government can hear her now, what would be her message to the government about her daughter and her son-in-law that have been detained for more than 10 years?
منجستي إرترا حاجة تسمع كن يرسم تايم بالكيو قال كن استايكن أسيرو ملكين 10 عامت.
تايم هلا لبها بكا فرت حوصة. فتحي. لا يأكل مكرة.
There's nothing to say. All I can say is I hope that you get a heart. To translate roughly, and I hope that there's freedom in our country.
Well, how's her daughter doing? Does she know at all? Has she spoken with her?
Mama alhamdulillah tfadli.
She has not spoken with her since 2004 that she was detained?
No.
What about your dad? Did she ever, was she ever able to speak with him?
My dad's even a worse case of incommunicado. We have no idea where he is or how he's doing, except for rumors that surface every now and then.
How are you doing though?
I'm alright. I'm coping, but I think a huge part of it has to do with my family. It helps that you have people who know what you're going through to support you.
And you're the youngest of their children.
Yeah.
And so your mom and dad are detained, and you have a brother that is also in Eritrea right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
If the Eritrean government can hear you, what would be your message to them right now?
Enough. There's nothing they could possibly gain from continuing the suffering of all their people. Like, they fought a 30-year war just so they could, just for this. It makes no sense.
What kind of changes are you hoping to see in your country?
I hope that it's a lot freer than it is today. I hope that it's a democratic country. And I hope that the people feel safer than they do today. That there's a sense of community there once again.
What about people that are trying to flee? Do you have any message for anybody trying to flee? Would you say they should just stay in Eritrea?
I would not wish that upon them. I left because there was no future for me, so I wouldn't ask them to stay either. I just hope they make it safely and that they get to wherever it is they're trying to go.
I see. What about people, some people talk to me and they say that there's the other side of the story, that the government is actually doing what is best for the people. Can you talk to people like that?
What is the government doing that's best for the people exactly?
Can you look into that camera and just, talk to people like that who feel like the government, it should not be blamed, that the government is doing what is good for the people?
It's killing people, to summarize. So many people have died at the hands of this government. Too much blood is on their hands for you to just disregard everything. Just because they do one good deed does not erase all the other bad ones they've done. It's a regime, it's not a government, and it's time to just stop.
You doing okay?
Getting better.
I'm sure that they would get to hear your message, and I hope that something changed.
I hope so too.
And how old are you now?
I'm 16.
And you're in school right now, right?
Mm-hmm.
What grade?
11th.
And what are you trying to be in the future?
I don't know. I just hope that I find a career that lets me give back.
To your people in Eritrea?
Yeah.
You want to go back someday?
Someday, when it's safer.
When it's safer. Can you ask your grandma if she has anything else that she would like to share with us? And with other people that would be watching, other Eritreans?
نملؤ هذي أثرائي وخفي وظلوا محرتي يورد لنا أملاح بعليا يرد عنا نتما رحينا فتحي ويكا يركبنا بعلنا خلما حدر فتح يوصعلنا ويك أيقدفلنا بعلنا خدم حدار.
She says that I just wish for freedom, or I wish that the government would hand over the system to us so we could govern ourselves.
I see. And lastly, I just want to remind our viewers, you guys had to go through Sudan and Ethiopia before you eventually made it to the US, right?
Yes.
But before I let you go, do you have any message for mom and dad, just in case by any chance they get to watch this video?
Stay strong.
If you could watch and look at the camera.
Stay strong. We love you, we miss you, and we think of you every day.
I see. Well, thank you very much for coming in the studio, guys, and I really appreciate the opportunity to talk with you. Stay tuned, we'll be right back.